So I kind of heard from Mark and Chris about you came in kind of at the 10th hour, I guess,
Right.
and took this part, and you came, and he had to persuade you for years. Well, in your mind, he always had you in that part, or at least his wife had thought of you for the part. And as I was saying,
nice.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah. And for me, I was saying I was so happy not to see you actually get to sink your teeth into something.
Yeah.
And it was a great role for you. And for you also, Juliette, you're always sublime to watch on screen.
She's amazing in this,
Yeah,
huh?
she's amazing.
God,
And
It's
Orlando
great.
gets to be
It's kind of the way you-
egocentric and
Yeah.
all this and sex.
Stain.
Yeah.
Please, his name is Stain, and a rock star.
Stain. Yeah, it's a lot of
Right?
fun. Yeah,
It was
a
great.
good-
So why don't you tell me about just working with Mark and getting on board in this movie?
Working with Mark was a profound creative experience for me, and that doesn't happen very often. And I think it's because we were just all in it together, and a lot of my scenes we were still developing as we were shooting. So me and Mark would just co-conspire. Do you say co-conspirate?
Conspire, yeah.
Co-conspire.
Co-conspire,
Because I
yeah.
was going to say we were co-conspirators.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever, we were conspiring
Inspiring.
for the scenes. And initially I didn't want to play the part because it was I loved because the character, she's on drugs and she's this, and you got to sort of seep into that skin, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to be feeling that at the particular time. And but I was so drawn to the piece because of its theme of healing and having a gift that could be a curse. I really loved this idea, and so working with Mark was so fun because in my heart of hearts, I'm a character actress, so it gave me a chance to play this character. She's a bass player, and I always wanted to learn to play bass, so I got into that, and I was happy when Orlando came on board too. Yeah, and he's a really good singer.
Yeah, well, he was.
Yeah.
Mark was telling me that when he met with you, you had told him that you really wanted to you were looking for a part where you could really sink into it.
Yeah, sink
and
your teeth
not
into something.
be in it, because obviously you're part of two of the hugest franchises ever, which is also its own special category. But tell me about Stain.
Yeah, it was just, Mark had sort of sat down and we chatted and stuff, and I guess James Franco was supposed to be playing the role, and I guess he had a conflict of schedule, and I was just like, it felt like the greatest gift actually to be, for me to step into something like this, because I really needed this kind of experience. It was like, I think everyone wanted a kind of healing on this movie in one form or another. Everyone everyone who was sort of drawn to it and ended up with it in some forms. And Mark, I'd never been, directed by an actor like that. I was a huge fan of Mark as an actor. Such respect for him. But as a director, he was just wonderful. He just had such sensitivity to the way that we kind of approach character and how we, and what was on the page for the Stain was just, I am the Lord thy word have come. It's quite a tricky line to pull off. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how do you say I am the Lord thy word have come and make it work?
Yeah.
I was reading this dialogue and I was going, it was just amazing, because we went to Guadalajara with Juliette and Mark. Me and Mark slept in bunk beds, shared a room together, and in this crazy little compound that Omar,
Omar Rodriguez Lopez of Mars Volta wrote the two songs, and so we stayed at his place.
We stayed at his place
to learn them.
So we laid down a couple of tracks, and we were hanging out with this, and they're like this orchestral kind of rock band. I mean, they take rock music to a whole nother level. And they had this, but it was very complicated, the music, and I'd never really done anything like that before, and you were playing bass, and it was all kind of, how would you describe it? You're a musician, but it was all off, the way that the beat,
the music,
and rhythm,
it was so
off.
wonderful, because it was so dark, and it sort of like creeps under your skin, and Omar, he writes music like that, and he wrote it for the movie, and all parts of the creative process on this movie was sort of like, we were intuiting some cosmic something, and Cedric, the singer of Mars Volta, was brilliant. He just spit out these lyrics that are very like a riddle, which is the way he writes, and it just sort of comes from the sky, you know. These are what I call the gifts even of artists sometimes that I mean, I don't want to be too airy-fairy, but sometimes it could be your curse. I just know because when I was
We were gifted.
No, I didn't mean
we
to
got to
say.
be
You
able to
can
horror.
sing. Apparently, you can really sing.
And it
That
was right.
wasn't. That
I
was
laid
you.
down a couple of tracks,
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
really
all you.
enjoyed it. Well, my father was used to sing in a choir, and my mum does like choral singing and stuff. So it kind of figures that I should just about be able to hold a tune from them. But yeah, it was great, and we ended up like, you know, rocking out, and we did some cool stuff that didn't. Hopefully, Mark will do like an extended version.
Yeah.
If we, you know, if he
The
gets
director's
a chance,
cut.
on
because
stage when we
did some really cool stuff.
improvising.
We were like, we had a really good time, like singing,
Yeah.
wailing, and like it was a lot of fun. And man, it was great to rock out. It was like, man, rock stars have a lot of fun. I'm coming.
I know the rock. Well, you had got to be the ultimate rock star too.
Yeah, belligerent northern.
Shirt,
kind of-
you know, the microphone. You got to go there.
Yeah. It was fun.
How's Sundance been?
It's great. My
I
first
liked
time.
it.
It is
I've
your
never
first
been,
time,
yeah.
right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, love it. I'm just managed to get a couple of hours. Actually, me and Mark went up the mountain yesterday for a couple of hours, which was cool. It started to get dark, but they have lights on the slopes, which was
Yeah.
very, very
Were you
good.
skiing or snowboarding?
Boarding, yeah.
Boarding.
Boarding, yeah.
He's cool,
Yeah,
so
I was
you
just
know.
gonna
No,
say,
I'm not
He
cool.
snowboards.
I do ski.
Yeah.
I do ski actually. I don't ski. Boarding has been
great.
fun.
It's really fun to come up here with a project that you're in love with, and you know, because it's the spirit of this festival and independent filmmaking is you sort of push this little creature forth against the odds, and it's all on sheer belief and people's passions and everybody just in it, and you know, like Mark said, it was a 23-day shoot.
What was
This is in
amazing about the
streets.
film, though, is the way Mark really drew you into that world. I don't
Yeah.
know, I really felt like he really led you down Skid Row. He really took you in there. You really felt like you were inside the movie. I didn't feel like an observer. It was so good. It was great to see all the stuff that he shot and Skid and
Yeah.
with Chris, and just it was beautiful.
That's what.
Chris Nord did a great job.
Yeah, the
DP.
DP. What's wonderful for me also working with Mark is he's a revelation as a director. He's very visual, because some actor directors, okay, they're going to get into the characters with you and the scenes and breaking it down, but are they really visual? Because obviously it's a visual medium, and there's a real definite style to this movie and how the story changes. So when he starts on the streets, and then even when the court scenes were so brilliant, because we've seen court scenes in movies, and there are always these, you know, these frames and stuff, and Mark just broke the rules and had all like these big giant frames with all this headroom, so he's sort of swallowed by the system. It was kind of brilliant, a lot of things he was doing.
I don't know if he's going to do it again.
Well,
I think he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he is.
You think so?
Directing?
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. He'll definitely be directing. Get run to it. I'd run to it.
Well, thanks for stopping by, guys.